got my boy, Mod the God, on
What's
the
up?
line. My
Building.
World in Your Hands. Album, mixtape? What are we calling this?
Mixtape, project,
Mixtape.
mixtape. No album. I feel like one day I'll be able to release an album, you know?
Yeah, bro, because I saw you even release a project. You were like, this is not my album. That was like the name of it, right?
Yeah, because it was just like back then I was supposed to be actually putting out an actual album, like, and all of this stuff was supposed to happen that did happen, and I actually recorded a whole album that of songs that nobody's ever heard of besides the people that were there, and it was supposed to come out, but then everybody was expecting the album, but then the album didn't come, so then I used the marketing to make this is not my album, basically.
Which is dope, bro. And
Yeah.
I was like listening to this album today and when it came out, and I was using today to get more familiar with it so I could like fully talk to you about it. And something I have to commend you on is like I feel like the I had it in my head. The sound, the production value on this album is fucking insane. Like every beat on this album hits. And everything on it, like even like the melodies, the when you're spitting, the like the different lanes that you took on it, it just like everything came together so great. And I was like, wow, this is definitely like an album that I could listen from top to bottom and not be bored, because I obviously I had it on for most of my day when I was working. So I was like, this is great. So talk to me a little bit about like the history and the creation of My World in Your Hands.
Okay, so basically, My World in Your Hands is like music over like, I guess I haven't put out a project. My last project was like last June or July. Before that, Unexpected. So I hadn't put out a project in a while. So it was just me recording this whole period of time. But through that period of time, I went through like so much ups and downs. So like if you hear through the project, it almost sounds like on certain songs I'm speaking from totally different perspectives, like how you hear this song and hear this song, but it's really like the ups and downs of life and like where I'm at. So like the songs are just all different periods of like the last 8 months, I'd probably say. Yeah.
And it's crazy, like you talk about these ups and downs, and I noticed that too, because I think at one point you're rapping about being homeless and all this, and then at another point you're in a completely different space. So did all those things take place over like the course of like 8 months, or was it just like over time?
No, see the homeless thing was like college, and it was more of like I got kicked out of my apartment and like I had already dropped out of college, so I was more on my own, but I was up in Buffalo, and I got kicked out of my apartment like a couple days early with no place to stay. So I had to like sleep in my car for a couple days just to like figure it out. But like that was also a time in my life that like the first song, that's from Just Like You, where I'm really just trying to be relatable as I can, like in terms of like the problems that a normal person goes through. You probably think I don't go through, but I've went through and go through still. So I was just taking little periods of like all the struggle that I've been through to like disconnect with that one.
Got you. And I have to say, like, when I was listening to one of the records, I was just kind of listening to it straight through. And I remember at one point I was like, because I had listened to the album a few times, and I stopped myself and I was like, oh, this shit like really hit. And it was your Scared to Love freestyle. And I was just like, oh, and I was just vibing with it. And I have to say that, like, I always write down before these interviews my favorite songs on the album. So originally I had another record on there, but Scared of Love was one of my favorites. 2020 was another one of my favorites. And I think I commented Loyalty to Loyalty was one of my favorites on your IG post. I don't remember if that was the exact one, because it's changed since the album came out. But I love the Scared of Love freestyle. So tell me a little bit about that one, because that one I'm the most interested to kind of like hear about.
I feel like first of all, with Scared of Love, like I feel like that's what I call, like, how every artist has their pocket, that's their flow. Like I have another song called Struggle too. And that's like my mod flow. Like, so that's like my, I feel like that's my pocket that I do specially, So that's like why I love that song. And then on top of that, it was like just a different angle. I feel like it was like a tough vulnerability that men don't usually take. Like, I'm the one that makes mistakes, like I feel stupid because like I done lost all of this off of my mistakes being young, living life. And it's just, it was just me just recollecting, putting a lot of stories together and just really thinking like, damn,
And you talked about like it being your mod flow. What does mod mean? Because I know it has like a deeper meaning than at face value. So what does mod mean?
Man of dreams.
Okay.
Man of Dreams. Yeah. So yeah, that's what Mod is. It stands for Man of Dreams. So
How,
just basically what represents me, you know.
how'd you come up with that? Like, how did that kind of come about? Because I know you've been doing this for a while. I know your father was also musically
Hmm.
inclined.
Hmm.
So how did this whole how did Mod the God, like, what is the story of Mod the God? How did Mod the God come to be?
Okay. So the story all right, let's take it all the way back. The story of Mod the God, right? So originally, right, it was like in college, me and my mans, we was getting girls, right? So he was Todd, right? He was Todd, and he
Okay.
would fuck you out your drawers, right? And I was Mod, and I was Mac you out your drawers. But it was just like a little fun thing, like, you know, like a little fun thing. But then when I started taking rap seriously, I was already like Mod, but like when I thought, like, I was really, like, I was going like, yo, what's gonna be my rap name? And I'm like, yo, is Mod it? And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, wow, Man of Dreams. Like, yo, something so, like, something that was a joke, like, really stands for what I'm, like, stand on as a person. So it was just like an easy switch. So it was like Mod just worked and it stuck. And then the God part is like not, I feel like I don't want anybody to take offense to it. Like, you know, I don't feel like I'm God at all, but it's like more of like a I feel like our godlike ability is our ability to create, you know, and music is what I've been gifted the ability from God to like create, and like it's my passion. It's like what I feel like is my purpose, you know. So it's just like feeling like, you know, I came from God and He gave me abilities. It's just like I have the ability to in this one area to create, and this is my godlike ability, I guess. Not that I'm a god, you know.
I love when names for artists have deeper meaning. So that's really cool. And you know what? I first heard of you when I saw your song with Queen Naija came along my radar, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you. I don't know if I told you this already because we have been on the phone once and you and I have talked in the
Yeah,
DMs a lot.
yeah.
But I love the Queen Naija record that you got because it's such like it's like a movie trailer song. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah. I
I
know that
think
one too.
it's so interesting. Like, it's like movie trailers and movies have like very specific music that's played during it. And when I was hearing this, that's what I pictured. I'm like, okay, this record is dope, but it
Mhm.
could also be in like a movie. Like I
Yeah,
could see it in
yeah,
like
I
a
think it's way
rom
bigger
com.
than just, yeah. It's just, I see it way. I also see it that big, like way bigger than just like something to just bump. Like I feel like it fits in so many places, and just with especially with what's going on, I just feel like it fits a lot. You know?
How did that record with Queen Naija come about? Because if I'm not mistaken, you two are like friends. You known each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
So
yeah. Fact. So Queen Naja is like my sis because Clarence is her boyfriend, who's also my best friend for years, like 12 plus years. We've been best friends. So it was just like all of that came together. But basically, we were in LA. Queen was working on her album, finishing it up, and she heard this beat, and like, you know, we've always been musically like around each other, worked, and like everybody knows we do music, we like each other's music, but like we had never really worked together on the song. She heard this beat, and it was like, and the message she wanted to have for it, she was like, she wanted me on it, and the rest was just history. Basically, it was just like easy to get done, really.
And now that you bring up Clarence, that's a good segue into my next topic. So we were talking a little bit before we started rolling here about YouTube and how you do other YouTube videos, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think I saw a video where you did something with Clarence, or you reacted to something Clarence did. So how do you incorporate, like, how do you kind of, I guess, balance doing the YouTube and the music? And because, you know what I'm saying, because some artists do vlogs, but you took it to a step further. You do other things.
Well, listen, the YouTube has been my hardest fight because like when I came into the YouTube thing by myself, really, and I was doing the YouTube originally just music reactions. So I was doing music reactions because back then I didn't have a fan base. So my thought was like, let me do music reactions, build up a fan base doing music reactions, and then, you know, I'll be able to put my music in the mix, people will critique it, and then I'll
Mhm.
be building a music fan base. But in that time, you know, Clarence being my best friend, Queen become like everything just turned, and then it became more like, we want you to be a YouTuber. We want to know about your life. We want to know everything that goes in detail. So like
Right.
YouTube has really helped me, but like the balance is like something I still haven't perfected at all. Like the balance of like, because it's like certain things that are too YouTube-ish can affect how people perceive you as an artist. So it's a balance that I still haven't perfected though.
And that's, you know what, that's definitely hard because being an artist takes up so much time, and then being a YouTuber takes up so much time
And it's
as
like
well.
it's two different. It's like they're not, the entertainment is like it's two different worlds. Like they meet in the middle in terms of like the same people on YouTube listen to music, but the way they want to digest you in the music world and the way they want to digest you in YouTube don't always meet in the middle. That's what I would say.
Right. And you know what? I wanted to also, so like, since we're in quarantine, what have you been doing during quarantine? Because obviously you got the album out. What else have you been like kind of working on and chopping up during this time?
I've been working with videographers. I've been on the war zone heavy,
On the war zone heavy.
heavy on the war zone. Writing, I'm doing features now for the. I really haven't taken features over all this time. I'm taking features now, trying to do more. I'm really trying to decide. I have so much music. I'm really trying to decide if I'm gonna put out a deluxe to My World Is Your Hands or another.
Oh, wow, that would be dope.
Yeah, so it's because you know the way the game is going now, they do these deluxes where they add the songs. So it's like I want to play that game too. So it's like
You're like, I want all parts of this.
yeah, like I love it. I love it because it's like I'm even seeing like the way the artists are doing it. It's like they're giving you 20 songs or 12 songs. They give you 2-3 weeks to digest it. You're tired of it, and you get another 11, and it's like, oh yeah, I love it.
The new little Uzi Vert method though, with an extra 20 songs.
Yeah, Lil Uzi, now G Herbo, Lil Baby, they all Moneybag Yo. That's dope. It's just dope that you could get more, you know?
Definitely. So what has the rollout been like for this album? Like, how is it different than like the putting out past projects? Because obviously we're home now. So how is it like? I don't know. How has it been like? How's it been for you putting this album out during quarantine?
Okay, so this is my 7th project. So the first 2 is just like they did what they did. Nobody even really knows that those 2 exist. They're only on SoundCloud before I even know I do the business. But my rollout for Forever Freed was like beginning of me going on tour with Queen. So my last 2 projects got, my first 2 projects like with that got that rollout. I was on tour performing the songs that are on the project, so I was able to spin it. But like for this one specifically, I don't know. I feel like this is one of my best receptions, especially like I hadn't I had been dropping singles, but I hadn't put out music in a while, and it did way better. It's doing way better than I expected. I even got a couple like little co-signs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm independent. There's only so much I could do. I try to do as much as I can, but I roll out. I did my own Genius interview. I really be trying.
Yo, bro, you were killing me with all those posts on IG. Cause at first I'd be like, yo, he in there, and then I'm like, oh, this motherfucker just good with Photoshop. I was like, all right.
It's not even me. It's like my little fan base, my little soldiers. They be holding me down with like great content. I'd be like, I'm telling you, people always are like, oh, I thought you sold 95K, but if you go to like Instagram and check my stats, those are the ones where they click the most, where I got like 2,000 clicks on my song because everybody's in it. So it's like, I'm playing the long game,
Nah, and honestly, bro, I love that, man. And I really love this project. How many producers did you have on it? Because I'm just curious because
I'm talking about Authentic from North Carolina, my boy Yala from the Bronx, Yala Music from the Bronx.
Shout out to Yala.
And my young boy Ja, he calls himself Ja the God. I don't even know how. He's like 17, I think. My young boy Ja the God, young boy Ja the God. Those are the 3 main producers. But then it was collabs on the project by Abdul Keys. I don't know exactly where he's from, and also Lucian, and he's from Hawaii. So it was like 5 producers, but really 3. But Ja collabed with producers on his beats.
Bro, first of all, if any of those producers are watching, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, right? That's why I make sure to shout them out. I love the producers, man. I love the producers.
Shout out to the producers, bro, because like what they did. Oh, I think my phone just buzzed in the middle of the interview. How disrespectful! I'm sorry. Normally I mute my shit. But shout out to all those producers, man, because honestly, like, I really can't express enough how top to bottom how great it was just to like listen to it, and it just all smooths. It like not. I won't say every album always is like a perfectly smooth from top to bottom, because you know there are some rough spots here and there on most albums, but like from top to bottom for your project, bro, like it was a smooth ride.
I love the instrumentation on my project. I really do. I really do.
And it just worked out. So, but one other thing that I've been asking everyone when they come on here with me, especially during quarantine, and since you talked about your fans so much, and it's clear that you have a really great connection with them, what I've been having people do is I've been having people say a message to their fans, you know, whether you know, fans, people watching this from home, fellow creatives, fellow rappers, anybody who might be struggling during these times or might need a word of encouragement. What would your word to those people be?
Okay, so first of all, shout out Mod Militia. You know, that's what I call them, you know. And my words of encouragement would just be, you know, don't let the times deter you from what you're really after. This is just temporary, you know. It's a warfare right now going on, but you know, stay focused on what's important and your dreams. Put your dreams first, because that's what's going to make you happy in the end. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay out the way, and you know, just achieve, you know, beat the odds every time. You know, every time they say you can't do it, do it. That's what I would say.
Hey, bro, I love that. That's such a great message, man. Look, I want to thank you again so much for hopping on with me today. I love the album, My World in Your Hands, out now. Let the people know where they can follow you at, where they can stream your music, all that beautiful stuff.
You can follow me, MODDAGOD. That's across the board, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, everything. YouTube, Mod and Gabe TV, and yeah, you can stream it everywhere too. Yeah, basically Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, Tidal, wherever you get your music at. My World in Your Hands is at. And but just before I go, I just want to say that the reason why I even named it My World in Your Hands was because like I wanted to create a picture, a vision of my world, and really put it out into the world for people to spread. So like if you're watching this interview, you get a chance to watch this, you know, please share this with somebody and take my world and give it to somebody and see if they'll enjoy it too, you know? That's all. You know, that's all.
Wow, that's one of the best quarantine sign-offs that we had on this show so far, man.
Yeah,
Mod
right.
the God, man, I appreciate you again. Thank you so much. My World in Your Hands, out now. Go stream that, y'all. You won't regret it. I promise.
Sure. Thank you, King.
Boom.